I listen to my intuition, and it normally sends me in the right direction. And so today I thought that I would chat a little bit about my intuition, what I think is coming up, and how I'm totally unqualified to make these predictions. Hello, everyone, and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and we are all about pantry preparedness. Having a prepared pantry is the best insurance that money can buy. And the perfect example for this is this shelf right here. This one shelf right here. That is about $200 in chicken. And if I had to purchase that today, it would be about $260 in chicken if I caught the right sale. Typically a little bit more. It's better to buy it at today's prices than to pay tomorrow's prices. That is why your pantry is such a huge savings. That's why it's something that is better than money in the bank, because this will not devalue if it is stored properly, if it is put up properly. And with everything in the world that's been wonky for years now, and we're coming up on year number 4, right? 2024, I've been looking at a lot of different predictions. I've been reading a lot. I have been watching a little bit, and nobody really knows. Now, if you listen to like Morgan Stanley, hey, it's not going to be too bad. Is it going to be great? No, but it's not going to be too bad. But if you listen to other people, it's like, oh, duck and just get ready, right? Now, we've been saying stack it to the rafters. Stack it to the rafters, which is exactly what I do. I stack it to the rafters. Because when things are unsure, when we don't know what our dollar is going to do and what it's going to buy, and we all know that it's not buying anywhere near what it used to, then it's important to make sure that we've got what we can get at the best price. So if you have not started prepping yet, it's not too late, because today's prices are still better than tomorrow's. Start prepping. Start learning how to put up your food. Start learning how to stock up. Start learning how to rotate through it. Now, this is not just to look at. This is an active working pantry, okay? This happens to be my protein shelf. It's an active working pantry. So when life throws you curveballs, you can adjust, pivot, and you can make it work, because that's what your pantry allows you to do. There are predictions that 2024 is going to be a little challenging as far as the economy goes, not nearly as bad as they predict. Other people say, oh my gosh, it's going to be absolutely horrible. Do everything that you can. I say do everything that you can, period. One of the important things that we are tackling is we are removing debt. Now, the one major thing that I will never be able to pay off any earlier than I am doing is my home. However, all other debt I am working very hard at eliminating, and hopefully everything is paid off before the end of the year. I want to walk into 2024 only owing the house payment and then the monthly bills, right? I have set up a system a few years ago now where I prepay some of my stuff. I pay for an entire year's trash service in January. I pay for the entire year or two's worth of propane with my propane company. Now, I'm still restricted to what that annual price is, but they have overpayment in case anything happens and I suddenly have no income coming in. I know that I can still heat my house if I can't haul in firewood. We always have more than the next year's wood stacked up, and we always have our pantry. These are things that have taken me years to put into place. You are not going to do it all at once. Don't even try. Take a deep breath. Set up a system. You know what your end goal is, so just start working towards that end goal. Turn it into monthly goals that you can actually accomplish. It's super important. We've had some health issues this year, Phil and his foot, and one of the things that has been reiterated is that Phil needs to increase the amount of protein that he's eating. He needs more protein. It's how your body heals, especially being a diabetic. So we are increasing protein. Now, for me, that works beautifully because it means I don't have to cook 2 dinners. But we are going to be actively increasing the amount of protein that we are eating. If I had to rely 100% on today's prices, that would be a daunting task. However, I don't. I have meat stocked up. I have meat in the freezer. We have meat that we raise. We have eggs that we harvest from the barn every single day. So we have set up systems that allow us to make these changes, to be able to pivot on demand for our health, for our finances, and it won't put us backwards. There are always things that you can do to save a few bucks, theoretically. Have I been so broke that I knew that there was no more squeezing that penny? Nothing else was coming out, right? Yes, I've been there. I've been there and I get it. And those are difficult times. And my goal is to make sure that we don't ever end up in those difficult times again. So if you're there, I get it. I understand. I've been there. What is important is to reach out for help when you can, reach out for help when it's applicable, to get you back up on your feet so that you can then tackle everything that needs to be tackled. Now's not the time to give up. The world is crazy. It's not going to get any better. I said years ago that this is going to be a few-year process. We've got a few bumpy years ahead of us. And the more that we can do today to stock our pantries, the more that we can cushion ourselves, the more that we can bank that money in something that won't devalue like the dollar, okay, then the better off that we are. When I looked at the price of electricity that I paid in 2022 as opposed to the price of electricity that I paid in 2023, I have paid almost $1,000 more this year for power than I did last year. That's mind-boggling. I keep a simple spreadsheet to track all of my expenses. A budget helps a whole bunch, and this allows me to track it and figure out where and when those surges of money are going to be required. One of the things that we do in the winter is we turn on streaming services. I mean, it gets dark at 5 p.m., right? So we end up turning on streaming services. And right now I think I'm running with like 3 of them, and I need to back that down to 2. And well, I have 4, including Prime, but I need to back that down to Prime and 1 other because it adds up. Over the course of a year, it adds up. Will I justify certain expenses like my Audible account? Yes, because I love listening to books. So I'm going to have that. That's something that's less expensive for me than going out and buying books, and it's something that allows me to enjoy the books whenever I want. I've listened to some of the same books, a lot. So, and I never get tired of them when they're really good stories. So my Audible account is important to me. My streaming services, not so much. Refocusing where my money goes to ensure that it's getting the best use is important to me. I am super paranoid about stockpiling money in the bank, okay? For me, this makes more sense. However, an emergency fund is necessary. Wherever you put it, it's necessary. And having some kind of emergency fund, working towards building up that emergency fund is super important, because when you have things like sudden medical emergencies that can impact your income, then, that's something that you need to factor in. You never know when this stuff's going to hit. You never know when it's going to hit. It's always at the most inconvenient times. And so you need to jump on and set yourself up for success. My mother collected $800 a month in Social Security. That's what she was expected to live on. I know there's a bunch of you that are in similar situations. You really cannot live on $800 a month. It is remarkably difficult with housing prices today. It's extremely difficult with food prices today. The cost of everything has gone up significantly more than they're reporting. And it just keeps hitting my heart that we need to spend more time focusing on how we can reduce some of these costs, how we can insure ourselves against these higher costs, how we can do things that don't cost money, There are plenty of things out there that don't cost a lot of money that can take up your time, that can work your brain, that can work your body. Because moving and thinking are 2 things that are going to keep you active and young for a lot longer than candy bars. We have 2 big events coming up in a couple of weeks. We have January and we have the January Pantry Challenge. And during the January Pantry Challenge, it's one of those things where we're going to eat almost exclusively out of our pantry, which is pretty much what we do anyway now, but it's a great thing for people who haven't done it to try. So I've got people that say, well, I don't want to dwindle away all of my stores. It's not here to look at. It is not here to look at. It's here to rotate through. You have to eat it. It is useless if it sits on your shelf and goes bad. How long can canned food sit on your shelf? It can sit on your shelf for a long time. Should it? No. It's something that you should rotate through, okay? Because there's no sense in spending all kinds of money on stuff that you already have. Why not put that money towards paying down debt, towards an emergency fund, towards stocking more stuff on your shelves, right? It's much more advantageous to backfill than it is to completely fill. It's not all about home canning. I know there's a bunch of you that don't home can, and that's a choice. So at that point, you can do things like this. You can stock up on store-bought food. Expiration dates, best buy dates are suggestions, okay? So learn what works for you, but you have to rotate through the food for it to be advantageous to have on your shelves. Learning how to make a lot of things on your own is always a very big help. And those are things that we're going to be focusing on for the next few months, is learning how to use everything in your pantry, how to do new things with the stuff that's in your pantry, and how to save money doing all of that. Because it's amazing how much we actually don't need that we spend money on. With our new adopted way of eating totally in this household, there will be much less carbs. There will be much less refined sugars, that kind of thing, right? There will still be some fruit. There will, there'll still be some treats. I cannot take Phil's bread away from him completely. However, it will be reduced greatly in order to increase the amount of protein that he is eating. It's not even a calorie issue anymore, okay? It's just increasing the protein level in the food because it's healthier. Protein is also more expensive. You can get protein in a bunch of different ways. We double up on it for Phil by having meat and having vegetables that are high in protein, like spinach or like beans. He loves spinach and beans, so it works out really well for us. But there are ways to add that protein in without being vegetarian. We're not vegetarian. We are carnivore. We love our meat. And so that's what we're going to be doing. What you may not see me using a lot of is the pasta back here for a little while because he can't have it. No more mac and cheese, Phil. So sorry. But maybe a little bit in moderation as we move forward, but not as much as he would like, obviously. He's on board with it. He wants to be healthy. He wants to stick around for a long time. I want him to stick around for a long time. I've got this no opt-out clause in our marriage contract. Yes. So we are going to be working on sustainable meal items that have high protein, that have very low carb, and that is what I'm hoping to bring you guys along with while showing you that you can do this on a budget. This was all done on a budget. This is something that happened over years. It is not something that happened in a couple of months. You can do this. I want to help you do this. If you have any questions that are particular to your circumstances, I would love to hear them down below because that will help me direct my conversations a little more seriously than, willy-nilly what I can think of. I don't know what everyone else goes through. I know what we have gone through over time, and I want to help you guys get healthier, and I want to help you guys save money. I want to help you build that emergency fund, and I want to help you have the extra funds to pay down debt or maybe have some fun thing that you do. But 2024 is looking to be a little bit of a bumpy ride, regardless of who you vote for or anything else. It's not looking super fantastical. I have been having this feeling just from the things that I am reading, from the things that I am looking into, the deep dives that I'm doing. And then I end up in a meeting yesterday with a conversation with somebody who I respect, knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. And he said, you know what? He goes, gas prices are down. The economy is going to tank. He goes, FedEx and UPS have grounded a lot of their planes because the demand is not there. What? You mean everybody's not out shopping on Amazon or wherever and all this stuff having to be shipped everywhere? At this time of year, they're grounding planes because the demand is not there? That's a problem. That's a problem. So these little signs are happening. And as he's saying these to me, and I'm nodding my head in agreement because it's what I have felt without knowing the actual facts that he was telling me, it kind of took me back. I'm like, Lisa, your intuition, pay attention to your intuition. Sometimes I just need that little, pay attention. And when I start getting hyper-focused on something, there's normally a reason for it. So I'm hoping that you guys will join me for an amazing 2024 where we beat the system, where we learn how to manage everything, when we learn how to use everything that we have acquired for a better life, so that we are not put in a position of severe hardship like many other people who don't pay attention are going to end up doing. What kind of things would you like help with as far as planning your pantry and getting yourself financially set? I am not a financial advisor. I just have ideas, and I have things that we have done in order to allow us to do this. What kind of things would you like to know about stocking your pantry? Because that's what I'm going to focus on. January Pantry Challenge, we are going to be all about pantry as well as Canuary, because Canuary. But I want to bring you guys along for the changes and the things that we're doing. I want to bring you along and hope that you adopt some of the changes or make your own and share them with us, because the hive mentality is the best, right? I hope that everyone is having a fantastic day. I hope this video made sense, because I kind of feel like I was rambling a little bit, but I just needed to get it off my chest. I needed to get it out to you guys to go, we have to pay attention. It's time to stop resting on our laurels. We have to pay attention. We have to make sure that we are safe and secure for the years coming up. If you want some ideas on how you can stockpile in your pantry, check out these videos right here. And until next time, everybody, be safe.